You're sitting with your phone late at night, scrolling, not really looking for anything, just moving again and again. And then you see it. Someone your age talking about something new, a new idea, a new investment, a new trend. And a small thought appears. I missed this. Again. You didn't even know this was happening. You didn't even see it coming. And now it already feels late. You scroll more. And it keeps happening. People moving early. People entering before it becomes obvious. People who somehow always seem to be there first. And quietly, a question starts forming. How do they see it before everyone else does? Because it doesn't feel like luck. It feels like they're noticing something that you're not. But before you go further, you need to hear this clearly. You're not slow. You're not bad with money. You're not missing something obvious. And you're definitely not behind because you're not smart enough. There is a reason you think the way you do. A real reason. And in many ways, it has been protecting you your entire life. Because what looks like missing opportunities, often something much deeper, something quieter. Something your brain is doing automatically, without asking you. There are patterns behind this. Invisible ones. Small ways of thinking that shape what you notice, what you trust, and what you ignore. And once you see these patterns, you start to understand something important. The difference isn't intelligence, it's perception. And beneath that perception, there are a few very specific ways of thinking. The first pattern is this. They notice small signals early, not big announcements, not headlines, not hype. Small things, tiny shifts, a new behavior, a new tool, a small change in how people act. While most people wait for something to feel real, they pay attention when it still feels uncertain, when it's quiet, when it's easy to ignore. You might see something and think, I'll wait and see. They see the same thing and think, this is interesting. It's not confidence, it's curiosity. And that curiosity keeps them watching while others look away. The second pattern is this. They are comfortable being early, and being early feels uncomfortable. Because when you move early, there is no proof, no validation. No one saying, this is a good idea. It feels like guessing. And your brain doesn't like guessing. It likes safety. It likes certainty. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman found that your brain hates losing more than it enjoys winning, which means being early feels risky, even if it's not. So your brain tells you to wait. Wait until it's clearer. Wait until others confirm it. Wait until it feels safe. But by the time it feels safe, it's already obvious. And by then, you're no longer early. The third pattern is this. They think in longer timelines. Most people think in weeks, months, maybe a year. But people who see opportunities early think in years, sometimes decades. So when they see something small, they don't ask, what is this today? They ask, what could this become? And that changes everything. Because something small today can look very different over time. You might see something and think, this is not big enough. They see the same thing and think, this could grow. And that difference is not about intelligence. It's about time perspective. The fourth pattern is this. They don't wait for social proof. Most of us do. We look around. We watch what others are doing. We feel safer when others agree, because agreement feels like protection. But social proof comes late. It shows up when something is already working, when it's already visible, when it's already validated. So if you wait for it, You will always arrive after it's obvious. People who move early don't ignore others, but they don't depend on them either. They trust their own observation before the crowd confirms it. The fifth pattern is this: they are okay being wrong. This is quiet, but powerful. Because most people are not afraid of losing money. They are afraid of being wrong, of making a mistake, of looking back and thinking, I shouldn't have done that. So they wait, and waiting feels safe. Because if you don't act, you can't be wrong. But there's a hidden cost. When you avoid being wrong, you also avoid being early. People who see opportunities early accept something most people don't. They accept that sometimes they will be wrong, and that's okay. Because being early is not about being right every time. It's about being present before things become obvious. And somewhere in the middle of all this, there's a quiet feeling many people carry, a feeling you might recognize. You look back and you realize you've seen things before. You've heard about ideas early, you've noticed changes, but you didn't act. You waited, and later, you saw others move, and it felt like you missed something. But the truth is, you didn't miss it. You saw it, you just didn't trust it. And that matters, because it means this is not about your ability. It's about how your brain handles uncertainty. Studies in neuroscience suggest that your brain is constantly trying to reduce uncertainty. It wants things to feel clear, predictable, safe, and opportunities, and especially early ones, don't feel like that. They feel unclear, unfinished, uncertain. So your brain does what it was designed to do. It protects you. It slows you down. It asks you to wait, and that made sense. For most of human history, waiting was smart. Acting too early could be dangerous. Moving without proof could cost you survival. So your brain learned to be careful, to observe, to avoid unnecessary risk. But today, things move differently. Opportunities move faster. Information spreads quickly. And the people who benefit most are often the ones who act before things feel certain. So if you feel like you're always late, it's not because you're incapable. It's because your brain is doing its job. It's trying to keep you safe. But here's the shift. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to take extreme risks. You don't need to change your personality. You just need to see yourself differently. You are not someone who misses opportunities. You are someone who evaluates deeply. You observe. You think. You process. You don't move quickly without reason. And that is not weakness. That is intelligence. But there's a more accurate identity for you. You are a quiet strategist, someone who sees but waits for clarity. And once you understand that, you can begin to adjust one thing, not your thinking, just your relationship with uncertainty. Because the people who move early don't feel more certain than you. They just don't wait for certainty. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are wired for depth. The only question is, what are you waiting to feel sure about that may never feel completely certain? And if this made you see yourself differently, even slightly, then you're already starting to notice something new. Not outside, but inside. And that's where real change begins. If you want to understand your mind, not just your money, you can stay here. Because that's what this space is for.